Hi, if you're a B2B software or SaaS vendor or ISV trying to take your products to global markets, then you might be in the right place. Unfortunately, there are over 200,000 ISVs trying to do so, and it's not getting any easier. Many of you are considering to base your go-to-market strategy on channel partners, distributors, resellers, MSPs, or already started to do so, but realize that it's not that easy to take a third party, propose a nice commission, and hope that somebody else will do the job for you and on their expense. So, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, depends where you are. My name is Ainy. I'm the founder of Beam Global. We help B2B software and SaaS companies and startups penetrate and expand into global markets. We conduct market research, we devise strategies, we prepare marketing plans, we recruit and manage networks of channel partners and other sales and marketing activities related to your global expansion. And we run these meetups and nowadays webinars to help you with this mission of going global. And our mission today is to help you work successfully and scale with channel partners. For this challenge, we have asked Julian Lee, the president of TechnoPlanet, to join us. TechnoPlanet is a channel marketing, news, media, and events company. It's actually a place where channel partners spend their time. They educate themselves, they participate in activities, they meet vendors. But beyond that, Julian is an expert on IT channel management. No one knows these guys better than him. And together with me, we will try to reflect to you how this relationship is viewed from the other side. What are the stages in this journey to build a long lasting relationship? And what are the common mistakes that you really need to avoid? So we have here participants from all these countries, from Israel, Shalom, Australia, Brazil, Bom dia, from Canada, Germany, hello, Ireland, UK, Ukraine, Saudi Arabia, Alan. I'm really very happy to have you all with us. So let us look how is our agenda looking today. So we're going to start with Julian's keynote presentation about the channel partner journey. This will be followed by a nice Amazon gift card draw. And thereafter, we're going to talk about the 7 channel partner management myths that will harm your global expansion. Actually, it's already harming it. This will be followed by a very valuable Semrush draws, actually 3 draws. Semrush is an online marketing platform for SEO, content marketing, competitors research, PPC, social marketing. It will help you to attract and grow your audience online and faster, but it will also help you with the work that you have with channel partners. So we're going to have 3 draws for pro editions in a total value of $1,200. So it's really valuable for your business. Stay with us. After that, we have our panel, the panel of the channel partners. So we're not just going to talk about them, but we're going to talk with them. They are here eager to take your questions and point you to the areas that as vendors you can really improve. And once we're done with that, for those that will kindly participate in our survey, we will draft another Amazon gift card. So, Julian, let us start with you. Take us all to your journey with the channel partners. We are curious to know how it looks like and what do vendors need to do in order to get their support. Please go ahead.
And what's interesting is that people may not understand too much about the channel, and it's not very difficult, certainly not rocket science. So let's get started and see how I could help share some information. So the channel, just some numbers in case you're just familiar, and I know some people like numbers. I particularly don't like too many numbers, but here's some numbers for those who like it. It's about 40 years old, this channel we're talking to. There's about 500,000 channel partners globally, give or take 100,000, depending on who you believe. There's about 80,000 managed service providers, or what they call MSPs. Again, that number could be adapted based upon your country. There's about 100,000 or so, maybe 130,000 tech companies in North America. Again, these numbers could be adapted or changed depending on which research piece you look at. Today, the general feeling is that there's about 200,000 SaaS vendors that actually exist today, and that number is going to jump by about to about 10 million at some point in the future. I think within the next 5 years or so. 75% of the tech companies of the tech business actually flows through the channel. Something that a lot of people don't know. They think the tech stuff that's being sold to governments and businesses and whatever is by magically happening, but no, 75% of that is actually being flowing through the channel right now. And in case you're not quite sure how this all pans out, you've got about 7,500 channel partners that Microsoft is adding to their business model every single month. So if that's not a very good marker why this makes sense, then I don't know what is. Some recent information has been coming out since the pandemic as well. That's interesting to know. 81% of SMBs are more reliant on technology today than ever before, obviously because of the pandemic and what it's done to everyone. What's interesting is 75% of these companies have increased their spend by about a third, which is quite interesting. So it means that not only are they using technology, but they're increasing their spend. And the last number I'll give you is the cybersecurity business, which everybody's heard about these days. It's a very big business. Obviously, it's a billion-dollar business. But by 2025, 77% of this is going to be going through the MSP community. So this is where the market is going, where the market is today. So why is the channel important? That's generally why the channel is important. Most tech giants, from HP to Microsoft to Cisco and so on, they all say the same thing. The channel is their primary go-to-market playbook. That's it. And there's big reasons for it, and I won't bore you with them, but if you were to check out their websites and so on, and listen to their speeches and so on, they'll tell you that the channel is the biggest, largest army on planet Earth. That's a sales force. And no one, doesn't matter how big you can ever be, could never hire that many people in that many countries, in that many areas to kind of sell and promote your product. So, I didn't even know if the $1 zillion is an actual word, but it's a $1 zillion business. This market is so huge, people, it's just incredible when you look at the amount of businesses flowing through it year over year. So it is growing a little bit weird, a little bit different, a little bit faster, a little bit unusual because of this digital first economy that we've simply been hyper propelled into since the pandemic. So what was best practices a while ago was not necessarily best practices today. Sometimes, how we know what we know, I won't bore you with all the details, but if you follow me on LinkedIn or you check out some of our brands, you could get a feel, but we've been around for a bit. We've got a lot of frontline experience. We've done over 1,000 channel activities. We do news media interviews almost every day. We are digesting research pieces from pretty much every company right now. We run different awards events. We get a lot of data from assessments that MSPs do. There's a lot of data that's floating around there, and our job is to kind of digest this and then figure out what the trends are and how do we advise our clients, our customers, and so on. And if you want more, there's an interesting about journey on TechnoPlanet.com. And if you like to get more news, subscribe to eChannelNews.com. We keep running out of bandwidth at eChannel News because it seems to be being used quite a bit. So if you do get stuck, just stick around, click again, and you should get in. So developing your channel in a digital first economy, what does that look like? There's lots of 12-step programs and so on, but I'm going to give you 10 things that you should consider when you're building your channel program. So the first one, and even actually before you get into that, you need to decide what kind of company you are. Are you a channel only company? Are you a channel first company or a channel friendly company? And there's different definitions for these. A channel only means that you will only do business through the channel. So if someone comes to you and says, I want to buy your thing, you will say, hey, go to this channel partner, they'll do it for you. Channel first means you will actually look to the channel first to supply the product. And if you don't, you're going to do it yourself. So you do a bit of a hybrid. Channel friendly is more like, well, if a customer comes in and they want to deal with a channel partner, I don't mind. But in general, it's not part of your strength. It's not your focus. It's not your go-to-market. It's not your primary go-to-market. So you need to determine what type of go-to-market playbook that you want as a company, how you look at the channel. Now, some companies look at the channel as a cost of customer acquisition. So it's just like, let's get the customer, then deal with the, through the partner, then deal with the customer directly. If this is your playbook, do not deal with a channel. They will remember, and it won't be nice. So those are the primary things to think about. Now, first thing is awareness. And what's interesting is that a lot of folks in your poll just said, finding the awareness out there. And you're not alone. Most companies are challenged with awareness because there's so many products out there. How do you really get the attention, the brain time from all your clients? And it's not easy. The obvious, obviously, is news media. We run one of those, but there are several. There's about maybe 50 or so news media across the globe. Deal with all of them because all of them have their pockets of communities of subscribers that like to deal with them. So there's a lot of news channels out there, and everybody likes to, their favorite news channels. But the reality is, leverage news media because that's an interesting way to get your message out there to the channel, obviously. And of course, there's lots of end user publications and websites and so on as well to playbook on. Social media obviously is the new elephant in the room. It used to be sort of a choice, a couple of years ago. Now it's not a choice. You need to have a very strong social media plan because if you don't, you're just completely invisible. Influencers is another thing that we don't really hear a lot about in the years in the past, but now it is. Influencers, there's quite a few influencers in the tech space, and you need to get to know them and need to influence the influencers because these are the folks that's got really good followings on whether it's on LinkedIn or wherever they are. And if you convince them that your product is amazing, they can actually help convince their community. That is amazing. Events. It used to be the gold standard was you did about 200 to 300 in-person events every year. That was the gold standard. And that's crazy because your channel team is on the road for literally 300 days a year, which is an insane, brutal, journey. Today, that has completely changed. Obviously, for the pandemic, people don't want to meet as much. In-person events are going to be changed dramatically. They're morphing into a hybrid event where you have a smaller audience. It is live streamed. It is recorded. It is shared on social media. In other words, everyone out there is going to consume content in the way they want it to be consumed. So that's the really, the bottom line. You have to have a solution in a way that everybody can actually participate in this. Digital assets and content, these are the obvious ones, like your website has to rock. You have to make sure you're looking good in the website. And please, if you are going after the channel, make sure you have something on your website that says partners. And in the partners section, you have to have, here's why you need to be a partner with us. Here is the benefits. Here is a login. Here's partner with us. Click on here, talk to, Ori, whomever is, in your world, right? You need to show that you're a partner. If you have a website that doesn't have anything and any mention about a partner, channel partners look at that and immediately they say, this customer, this vendor is direct. So you need to actually look the part and be the part. If there's one thing you remember out of this whole conversation is if you are, having a solution in this planet and you are in security or whatever that category is, you need to focus on becoming a thought leader a real, authentic, real thought leader. And if you can achieve that, you are 50% towards the goalpost. So become a thought leader by sharing good content, good information, and so on. And you'd be amazed how that can help you. Two, you know, we know in marketing there's strategy, programs, and tactics, and so on. And it's you know, marketing folks understand this, right? However, if the management, the top leaders in the company, has not bought in to a channel strategy, my advice, don't do it, because it won't matter what you do, it won't move through. You know, there's management who say, or CEOs, yeah, just go try the channel a little bit, go to an event, see what happens, try it out. You know, and it doesn't work that way, right? It's not the channel takes a lot of energy and effort and resources to do so. That's very important. You have to have the management buy-in. Build the right fit channel programs. You know, do not go to a typical brand in the computer business and say, hey, I would like to copy what they do. Okay, don't copy anybody's channel program, because what's good for them may not be good for you. There's many factors that goes into this. How well are you known, the sector you're targeting, you know, what type of partners you're going after, and so on. So, you know, do not just go with a typical bronze, silver, gold type program. As a matter of fact, don't go with that program at all, because it's old news. You have to go to a different type of a channel program, and I'll talk a bit about that as well. And it's obviously that you have to localize. You just cannot go into a country, any market, without understanding how business is done in that world. You know, that saying, you know, when in Rome, do the Romans do what Romans do, I think applies to just about every country. So number three, it used to be, I would not have a slide like this in my presentations because it didn't really matter as much, right? Road warriors were the really big theme, you know, 18, 20 months ago. However, now it's different. You need a digital first channel team. And it means different things to different people. But basically, I could tell you that all your salespeople and all your marketing people better have a digital playbook. They have to understand how to engage with customers moving forward. They have to understand what is going on. They have to figure out how to play in this digital first community, this world. So that's very, very important. So I would suggest that you dig into that. Interesting, there's a gentleman we're doing a masterclass with at our live event next week, Shane Gibson. He is a rock star when it comes to digital, you know, sales warriors and social selling. And he's going to be talking about what it takes to become a digital warrior. So those are things that I think you should consider in your playbook. Skills and tools is sort of obvious because as you move into a digital world, you need different tools. You know, we're using one right now in the metaverse that's coming up in the future. It's all going to be 3D and avatars and all kinds of crazy stuff. But this is actually early days, this type of communication, early days. What is going to be coming down the future is going to blow your mind. So in reality, this digital communication is here. It will never, you know, go away. There's companies out there, a big consulting company have a floor they call the Nth floor, and it's where their employees go to hang out, just hang out virtually. Interesting stuff that's happening. So yeah, so digital first channel team is definitely something you want to do. 4, build a holistic partner community. It used to be before that, let's just give money to people who are selling their stuff. And that's a bad thing moving forward. Not because you're the transactional partner that you are the, you know, the power, all right? There's many, many components. So, you know, you got to be having an inclusive ecosystem, you know, advisors, influencers, developers, companies who, you know, do development even, you know, they can add on technologies and things and integrations with your platform. And all these people become part of the community that actually sells your stuff. And, you know, like every subscription thing, which every software company out there is all subscription right now, with all subscribers, you have to keep make sure that you keep that subscription going month over month. So you want to make sure that you have a way to keep them on, right? If I don't like the movies that Netflix is giving me this month, and I'm not liking the shows, I might say, you know what, I'm going to cancel Netflix, right? And worse, I will poach Netflix off of my friend so I still have it when I want it, but I'm not going to pay for it. In other words, with subscription, the world changes, but with subscription, the user, have the ability to scale down instantly, click to get out type thing. So you need to look at all those components.
Julian?
You got to reach, engage, collaborate, and compensate accordingly. You can't leave anybody around. So if an influencer says, hey, I could help you promote your product to my community, will he or she do that for free? Probably not. Will they do some for free? Probably, right? But in other words, make sure you're looking to grease the palms, if you will, that is helping you reach those communities. And there's many, many players there. So, play a very good role in understanding who you need to compensate to ensure you get your message heard loud and clear out there. So, again, if anybody have questions, you can ask me afterwards.
Julian, we have a question here. Can you hear me?
Sure. Yes.
Somebody was asking about how do you compensate influencers? Can you comment anything about that briefly?
Sure. How you bribe the influencers, you mean? Yeah. So influencers, we all know influencers in the traditional sense. Now, if you look at influencers on, let's say, YouTube, they get paid for promotion. So here's X dollars, and based on that, they do a promotion. The channel really doesn't work that way. It's a kind of you don't really do it that way. However, you might want to support that influencer in different ways. You might attend their events. You might like their stuff that they're doing. You might sponsor something that they're doing. You might also even pay to play by saying, hey, here's an event I'm doing. Would you mind sending this out to your community for, $500 or $1,000, whatever that number is, or I'll send you a gift card or something. In other words, it is a bribe, in a way, but it's a very cool bribe because it is what it is. These people also have to earn a living, and they spend a lot of time building up their communities. I don't charge for that. I probably should, but in my world, I feel like I'm taking a bribe. So I'll leave it there. I hope that answers the question. So 5, streamlining and onboarding the process is very important as well. If your onboarding of partners is not great, basically, it doesn't even matter what you do, right? Because you're going to lose partners, right? Onboarding is so critical. So bad onboarding, partner signs up a thing that says I'm a partner, and you send a link to some portal where they can go and get brochures and see some prices, and then that's it. That's bad onboarding, all right? Good onboarding is when someone picks up the phone and says, hey, I'm Ori. Welcome to my company. And how can I help you get up to speed in what we do so we can help you and us sell more and grow together? And that's a corny but good opening. But the main thing is that you ensure that your onboarding process is very, very effective, because that is the first thing that people will remember. A lot of people always talk about channels and education of their partners and so on. Yes, you can put everybody through the same school, and we all been to school and universities, and what happens? You put 100 people in a classroom, and does everybody come up with the same education? No. So everybody learns differently. Everybody does things differently. So you've got to understand the gaps within each of your partner communities. And then you need to put a plan together to fill those gaps. It isn't that hard. You can ask them, hey, what do we need to do to help you get to where you need to be, type thing. So you really want to think in terms of how do you help these people, your partners, to become better. As a matter of fact, that's the first question you should be asking yourself every morning when you get up. What can I do today to help my partners sell more of my stuff? Right? And that's a pretty good way to start. Offer incentives for online tools and partners to join and get involved, right? Because you want to lead with sort of a carrot. Some companies say, if you do this, you get to this level, and then you could make more money, that type of stuff. Well, that may work. But what I would suggest you say is that if you completed this course, I will give you $100, or I would give you a 5% discount further. I will do something. In other words, reward for behaviors. This is critical, right? It's not just rewarding for selling of a product, but reward them for doing the behaviors that's going to help them sell products better. So that's very, very important to sort of lead with some incentives to help your customers your partners become better at what they do. So that's 5. 6, we talk again about digital, the world we're living in, and digital demand generation is probably the #1 thing, obviously, that almost every marketing person gets up in the morning and thinks about, right? How to do it. And typically, they would take a website, integrate some kind of a smart marketing automation platform with it, create some content, push it out to whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever social media platform you want to play in, and then wait until the leads come in, and where you go. Well, that's digital marketing 101. It's the basic stuff. Today, you need to be socially authentic. It's not just people don't want to buy your stuff. People not just looking to buy stuff, right? People looking to solve problems. So you need to really step up your content to make sure that you're delivering the right content to your customers. Because if you don't, and everything that you send out there is about me, well, then I'm not quite sure you're going to be able to get the kind of traction that you want to do. Now, a lot of vendors work in co-marketing with their partners, and so many do it so wrong. You don't create an ad campaign and then tell your partner, hey, put your logo here and send it out to your customers. I mean, what is that, right? The problem is as well is that you'll take a hit with Google search engine, because Google's going to say, hey, wait a minute, you got 100 partners, 100 companies using the same content. So it's not good, right? So you got to customize this content. So don't just feed partners digital content, integrate it with what they do. So simple question, hey, partner, what do you use in your channel automation? Oh, great, we don't use that, but how can we help you, get the content to put out there so we can leverage that better? And then work with your partners to do a better job of integrating and aligning your strategic digital marketing playbook with theirs. And once you do it once, you'll go, that's the way to do it, because you grow sales, you rinse and repeat. So try not to automate it too much. Make sure you're looking at the content and getting it right. Now, the great thing about this world we're living in now is that you've got all these companies that have figured out how to slice and dice and categorize all these people who buy stuff all over the world. People like Facebook know more about, your friends than probably you do. Amazon knows more about what you're going to buy before you even do. Amazon knows that if you are starting to buy a certain types of things, right, you're probably about to have a kid, right? They actually have that type of detail. So because they know, who's been buying whatever before they ended up buying baby stuff, right? So I would tell you that when you peel back that onion, be scared of what information is out there about you and about your habits. But the main thing there is that if you're looking for a very, very targeted community, you can find that today. And there are organizations that specialize in this that if you like, I can help you to introduce you to, but find the right communities to go and do your thing to makes sense. Now, I say this as well because as a vendor, You don't only have to rely on the MSP or the channel partner reseller to go do the marketing for you. You can do the marketing directly, but then get the leads and massage them and then get it to your partners, right? But be careful that you don't just keep giving, the partners a fish instead of teaching them how to fish. At the beginning, you want to, give them a fish to make them eat, but you don't want them to be coming back to you with, please give me another fish. So integrate, find your digital, sweet spot, find those target audiences and go after them like there's no tomorrow. Last thing I'll mention here, you'll see a lot of things about marketplaces popping up. Amazon's got one, Google's got one, Microsoft, Salesforce, there's about 20 big ones out there. And so marketplace is a kind of a collection of a whole bunch of different companies and solutions where other end customers can go to and Google around and search around, if you will, and find, things that make sense for their business. So, so think of a marketplace as a mini Google. You need to search engine optimize for each marketplace. So if I have a product that is for, lawyers, right, I want to make sure that in that marketplace, when someone says, I'm a lawyer and I'm looking for some stuff, right, my name pops up to the top and not to the bottom. So these are the kind of things that you're going to want to think about because people are going to have to find you. All right. So that's 6. 7, automate processes. I mean, there is a partner ecosystem tool. There's partner relationship management tools. I just actually wrote an article on LinkedIn about this same topic. I'd encourage you to check it out if you want. And it's the partner ecosystem is blowing up. It's changing. So, companies, Crossbeam got a, 75 million and PartnerStack got 28 million. 20.9 million, actually. I don't even know why it's not 29 million. But in other words, over $1 billion have been invested in the partner automation community just this year. What does that mean? It means that automating partners are becoming important. There is an elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room is the partner itself. Here's the problem. If you are a partner, and you're dealing with 50 vendors, then I have to deal with 50 different partner portals. Now, I don't know about you, but if you and I were an MSP or a reseller, and we had to go on to 50 different partner portals every day to figure out how to do a deal registration, get information, do business, I can imagine that, 80% of our time is going to be eaten up just surfing these partner portals and so on. So this is not going to be sustainable. So there's a new breed of channel programs or channel partner ecosystems coming out. And I wrote about them as well in eChannel News. So you want to take a step back and understand where that market is headed. One of the things that I believe is that there's a transition happening in the market where the partner has to have the tool. So they have their own portal, their own marketplace, where they can decide which vendors they would like to plug in. So that when they go to work every day, they have one dashboard where all their partners are living and they could do business with all of them. They could do deal reg with 10 vendors at the same time. They get information, they could find whatever they want, all the promotions, the spiffs and everything else. So I think that's where the market is headed. As we say in our Canadian land, with the great Gretzky, it's where the puck is going to. That's where you skate towards, not where the puck is. And I believe that's where the puck is going to. So just stay tuned, keep an eye on what's happening out there, because I think that's where the market's going to shift towards eventually. So picking the right channel partner automation tool is important. You just don't pick one because I got to have one. Pick one because it's going to matter, right? Not just today, but down the road. So automate your processes, but be very, very careful how you do it. Now, you want to automate things like MDF funding and incentives and things like this, because it is a nightmare to do this on an Excel sheet. Don't even attempt it, right? automate that because you want to streamline that. It's when you get there, you'll know what I mean. But generally, and if you're there and you're having troubles, well, it's because you don't have it automated properly. So automation is critical to scaling and growing successfully. So 8, you know, in today's world, again, you have to be prepared to adapt and innovate. You know, in what has happened with the pandemic has kind of shown us that nobody knows what's going on, right? It shows us that you can't predict anything, right? If someone told me that I'll be ordering my groceries online, I would never believe them. Although pre-pandemic, people were ordering groceries online. So, but we're all now in this thing. So you have to adapt and innovate. So if you're going to do something virtual like this, you have to be interesting. You have to do, bring interesting content. You have to be engaging, give out some prizes, in some of the things I've seen, whiskey tasting contests, if you're in the drinking games, some people have cooking lessons, some people do yoga. It is no longer crazy to see crazy things happening, on virtual activities. And once this goes into the 3 type formats, that's going to go to a whole new level of crazy. In other words, please don't do boring stuff. Get into like doing something that kind of makes sense and surprise people, so adapt and innovate. Your product is probably good, right? But it's probably obviously needs improvement. And of course, as a developer or a SaaS company, you know what you want, and you've got your basic stuff, and it's working great, right? And it solves big problems. However, the market keeps moving, so you need to adapt and innovate as well as you move forward. So what you may want to do is look towards, how do you keep feeding your development team with the right information so they can evolve that product? And a massive resource that many vendors overlook is your partners. Your partners are the ears and eyes for you in their local markets. And it's not uncommon that a partner in some tiny town says, hey, I've got this pharmaceutical company that is here, and they're looking for this adaptation of this software. And if you did this, wow, I could, sell to this company. And you would have not known that because you don't have that, feet on the ground, right? Those boots on the ground. So, and then once you solve the problem for that customer, then whoa, I could solve this problem for like another 1,000 customers. So in other words, leverage your partners, listen to your partners. As a matter of fact, if you only listen to your partners, you can't really go wrong because they will tell you, the right stuff. Always in our world, I think without a box, and I know it's hard because we all have this comfort zone where we want to go back to all day long. I was thinking without a box from as long as I can remember, because I don't follow the path of everyone. Do something different. A lot of people call it, your purple cow. I could have worn a yellow tie or a red tie to stand out and whatever, but you need to be different today, and difference matter. So whatever you do, try to do something that's gonna, think without a box.
Julian,
Yeah.
watch the time, please, and try to wrap it up in the next minute or two if you can, because we're running a little bit behind the schedule, as much as you can. But please go ahead.
I will go fast track to the next ones. So 9. Influence influencers. We talked about this. We can jump over this slide. So you want to get involved and understand who the influencers are, because they can actually get you very fast into the communities that you want to get to. Research and prospects, new prospects and markets, because as you expand in new markets, you want to ensure you have the right community of influencers going to help you reach that market. 10, my last slide, by the way, empower partners. So, understand the partner journey, as I just described, and do your own research to ensure you have the right playbook in front of you, and, help them to improve their practices and selling game. It's really important. So your partners are also not power businesses. they also are just humans and they also need help. So if you help your partners to actually, improve their business skills, it's amazing how they can actually help you sell more. Our mission, by the way, our statement is always to make the partners bigger, better, stronger, and smarter. And we actually have a division called the Channel Partner Alliance, who actually does nothing but that. They help partners to assess their best practices. They help them to get the help they need to improve it. They help them to join peer groups. They get master classes. They do everything they can to take a partner from wherever they are to a bigger, better, stronger, and smarter partner. My last slide here is, the best time to have started a channel partner program was when you launched your business. And you should be having your go-to-market strategy at the same time you're about to launch. But obviously, the next best time is now. If you want to learn more about our companies, here are some website addresses. Join me on LinkedIn or follow me if you like. And if you have questions, we're done. Thank you very much. Hope it helped.
Thank you, Julian.
Let me stop sharing my screen here.
Yes. So we are moving to the funniest part of the webinar, that is going to be the Amazon gift card draw. We have all the participants' names, and now we will announce the winner. Let's see who is the lucky one. And the winner is Offer Synchrony. We will send you by email offer Amazon gift card, which will have the value of $25. And after this nice gift, we are moving to the next session. That will be the 7-channel partners management myths that will harm your global expansion with Ori. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Lika, and thank you, Julian, for the great presentation. And we will see many touch points and overlapping information, but from a bit different angle in this presentation. So B2B software companies and startups often decide to work with channel partners based on the reasonable assumption that the access and relationship that these partners have with their target customers will lead to success. But unfortunately, harsh reality often bursts this bubble. There are some common myths regarding channel partner management, and believing them can harm your chances of successfully going and expanding globally. We have documented 7 of the most critical or common mistakes. And our purpose in this session is to try that you will avoid just 3 of them. 3 of the 7. You will still try your luck with 4 of them. That's okay. Have fun and enjoy. But we have documented these myths and mistakes, and hopefully you can avoid as much as possible. Let us start. The first myth is that channel partners first and then strategy. So entrepreneurs state that strategy is not that important if you work with channel partners. Okay, so the idea is that I will look for channel partners, they will do the sales and this stuff, and strategy will come later. But unfortunately, reality is different, and let's see why. Let me share this screen with you. Okay, so we are all looking for channel partners, but channel partners is a part of what I call the place from where the customers can buy your products, in which countries, in which stores, in which channels. Somebody asking what are the channels, is where the end customer can buy the products actually. And place is a part of a bigger puzzle, which is actually the product mix, okay? So the marketing mix with the 4 P's: place, products, pricing, and promotion. We're going to get to it later on. And this is part of a bigger process of marketing analysis and strategy. So what happens with companies that they go launch a new product or wish to go global, we do a series of a process which starts with the company. We look at the company, at the DNA, at the product, what worked well for them, what were the success, what were the failures. We conduct a market research to see the market size, the market categories, how do customers purchase these kind of products, what are the segments, the various segments of customers. We then go to a competitor landscape where we analyze the competitors. What do they sell? How do they sell? Which channels? What is their unique selling proposition? And so on. And once we've done that, we can go to the marketing analysis and strategy part. So we do a SWOT analysis of the strengths and the weakness of the company and the opportunities and threats that lie ahead. And we try to decide the target customers. And this is aligned very much to the channel partners. So imagine that you're selling a cybersecurity solution for big retailers, and you found a wonderful channel partner that sells to banks, okay? There's no alignment here, okay? The fact that he's an excellent channel partner, but his base customers or the ones that he has contacts with are from another segment, it doesn't mean that he's the best fit for you. So you first need to decide what are the target customers, and based on that, you can choose the best channel partners. They're all good, but who are the best for your business? And this is part of the strategy. You need to have a unique selling proposition. What differentiates you? Your channel partners will judge you based on that. How easy is it to sell your products? Are they different from the others? Or there are thousands like this? If you have a unique selling proposition, then you will find better partners. And then we come to the product, to the marketing mix. So we have the 4 Ps: place, product, pricing, and promotion. And this is like a very delicate puzzle. If you move one element of it, you have all your strategy misaligned. For example, many companies want to go with a low pricing as a strategy. That's okay. But if you're working with channel partners, you need to secure their part, okay? Their commission, okay? So you have to look into that. Or you want to sell via MSPs, your database performance monitoring solution. MSPs will typically wish that the product will have like a central dashboard through which they can monitor all their customers. If your product doesn't support that, that could be problematic. Or if you have a fully self-service process of sales and onboarding, then you might need the channel partners, okay? So you have to figure out where it meets your overall marketing mix and strategy. So and then you can decide on the place, and of course, who are the best channel partners for you. Let's go back to our presentation, and to summarize this point, actually, what we need to remember, okay, is that a lot of tactics, and you heard a lot of tactics from Julian, you're going to hear them from me, and it's very important, the execution, but without a strategy, it's the noise before the feed. What does this mean? You're going to spend a lot of money on marketing activities and meetings and contracts and a lot of resources. But you know, the fact that you'll choose the best channel partner, if your strategy is not in place, it's not going to succeed. So you need to align your channel partner go-to-market strategy with your overall strategy. And in that case, you will have bigger chances to succeed. Let's move on. I signed a partner agreement. My job is done. You know, we saw that people here have challenge of locating partners. And indeed, once that you locate one and sign with them, I do recognize that it's an achievement, okay? Frankly, I'm saying that. And it's important to sign an agreement, to set the right level of expectations and commitments, but nothing will happen if you're not going to be active. And Julian told us all about how many activities and the platforms and tools and thinking out of the box are required in order to make you partners active. So you need to engage with them, educate them, show them how to sell your products, share case studies, show them where the money is, share sales materials, best practices, meetings with them, with their customers, visits, calls, Zoom, participate in events, invite them to events. So when you sign an agreement, your job is not done, not at all. If you're a channel-minded company, it's just the beginning of a big journey of which Julian explained the complexity and the various angles and activities that are related to it. Let's move on to the third myth. Julian also touched this one. If I have channel partners, then I don't need to do marketing. And I hear this approach many times, and it kind of makes sense. What do I need channel partners for? They know how to sell and market my products. They will bring in the leads. They know better marketing than me. But again, unfortunately for us all, reality is more complicated. And many times channel partners may be excellent technological companies, but not necessarily the best marketeers. Sometimes they are, but not always. And they're certainly not experienced in selling the type of products that you're selling as you are. Yes, I know that this might be a little bit of like disappointing. So why do I look for channel partners? No, you should help them with ideas, guidance, marketing plans. Share with them what worked well for you. Did a PPC campaign, going on an exhibition, or a LinkedIn campaign? Okay, so you need to do marketing. You have to have your marketing engine in place and invest in it. Working with channel partners is not a way out of not investing in marketing. Okay, and yes, share with them, be kind enough to share with, if your marketing system produces leads, share with them a lead. So if you share a lead with your Hungarian channel partner, he will appreciate it. Okay, you will see a greater level of commitment, and you will also be in a position to tell him, hey, I generated a lead in Hungary as a foreign company. You are based there. If I can generate one lead, you can certainly do 10 leads. So work with them together, and you do need to invest in marketing, mostly the end customer marketing, but also some aspects of the channel marketing. But if you do an end user marketing, the channels recognize it, will see that your products can be sold, and it will help them very much. This is controversial. Okay. The fourth myth. I will launch my disruptive product solely with channel partners. So I have a unique product, and they should thank me for me letting them sell it. Okay, I will provide them a commission, and I will get an easy sales. But it's not easy to sell new products. And also keep in mind, channel partners have different interests. They're not willing to take the same risk and investment that you're willing to take. They have other products, other level of business, other concerns. You have to respect that and acknowledge that. Also, keep in mind, when you're launching a totally disruptive product with a new approach, you typically sell it to technology enthusiasts or early adopters in a broader term, or visionaries. For that, you need a team of passionate people with technical capabilities, with sales capabilities. You can't expect to outsource this to a channel partner, solely rely only on channel partners at this point. And you also need to show your channel partners the early wins that you can, get some customers, okay? And they will be happy to join this momentum of success. As a matter of fact, for the scaling, they will be much better, because when you scale, when you sell to the standard customers, the pragmatist one or the conservatives one, which are the standard customers, they will require integration services, additional product, a full product, not an evolving product as in the initial stages. And for that sake, the channel partners is the best vendors, the best supplier. So you do need to work for them, but for launching a disruptive product, you should not rely solely on them. You also have to be very attentive to the market, to the feedback that you get. It's an evolving product, evolving concept. You have to be there. You cannot outsource that part. Once that it comes stable and makes sense, then you can really scale up with the channel partners. Oh, I like this very much. Exclusivity or not, This is the question. So this is the myth about the question. It's not the most important question, but this is the number one question that I get. Should I provide my channel partner exclusivity or not? And also channel partners ask me about this. And when they ask me about it, I tell them, look, if you ask for exclusivity, then your vendor might ask for a minimum quota or a down payment. This may divert the discussion into unproductive areas. Instead of focusing on the market and the customers, you're arguing about something which doesn't contribute to the discussion at all. But happily, I can tell you that it's rarely an issue. I've hardly come up on a case that an agreement was not signed because of a debate over the exclusivity issue over a territory. Now, SaaS vendors, please think, how many target customers do you have in a given territory? Imagine that you sell in, I will take like an extreme example, in Slovenia, and you sell to big banks. How many big tier 1 banks are there in Slovenia? 3, 4, 5? I didn't check that. Do you really want to have 3 partners over 5 accounts? Maybe it's better for you to work with one good channel partner. On the other hand, if you sell it to small retailers, and there are thousands like this, you should probably work with several resellers and channel partners. Also, think about it from a logical point of view. Can they be really exclusive? Do they cover the territory? Imagine a channel partner in Brazil. We have here participants from Brazil, a huge territory. Can they cover all of it? North and south? Maybe they can't. Maybe they're, focused in a certain area. Or in terms of segments, maybe they cover, you have your IT solution, cybersecurity solution, you sell it to retail, government, and healthcare. The channel partner covers the healthcare. Who will cover the other sectors? You need them to be covered. In that case, the channel partner cannot be exclusive. So think about it in that way, and this will result in a better discussion. Let's see if we have any questions that should be addressed at this point. Tips on issues when dealing with different countries from home base. Okay, we will try to address this later on. I gave you some perspective over the issues of territories, which is of course very strong when you're talking about global marketing. Let's move ahead to the 6th myth, but before that, maybe Lika, you can pull up our poll. I'd like to ask you, how do your channel partners report you on their sales activities or the sales funnel? So they're doing lead generation, they're doing demos, proposals, meetings. So maybe they are not reporting, maybe they report by their CRM, maybe they have their own CRM that they're using, Excel, or other ways. Okay, those that picked up other ways, it would be nice to put them in the chat to see some ideas. Maybe we can read them later on, in which other ways they do that. Are we done with the poll, Lika? Or
yes, we are done, and I'm sharing the screen.
Okay, so many of you don't report at all. Many use Excel. There are other ways. Partner CRM was not selected at all. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Thank you. So this leads us to the 6th myth. Reporting, it's not for the channels. They're motivated, they get a commission. They don't need to report. They are not my employees. And what happened in this case is that many companies wait till the end of the year to realize that this relationship is not working. But you don't need to wait to the end of the year. And as Julian said, you need to provide feedback and compensate them for their behavior, okay? And yes, you need them to report to you, but consider it as part of a communication, of a relationship. Nobody, let's be frank, nobody likes to report. I don't like to report to my clients. Channel partners don't like to report to the vendors. Their respective sales managers don't like to report to them. We all hate to report. It's okay, it's normal. But as a vendor that you, and as a channel management function, you need to know what's going on in your territory. But why don't you provide a value over this reporting? So if a channel partner reports to you over his activities, and you see in the report, and it doesn't matter if it's in Excel or CRM or another tool, that is engaged in a sales process with a certain customer with certain traits, why don't you provide him some value, telling them, how did you win such customers in the past? Or how did you compete with your biggest competitor in that case? So you can provide them value. If you provide them value, then it's not reporting for the sake of reporting, but you actually you're engaging them with them in a communication, in a relationship. Okay, so you can generate over the reporting value for the partner, even though he doesn't like to report, but it's your obligation to know what's going on. Okay. Finally, pricing. Oh, it's a very delicate issue. So it goes like this. As a partner, they can decide what is the right price for the end customer. I, as a vendor, don't need to get into that. I want to get my €5 per month for my time attendance software, and I don't care in which price he sells it. He can sell it for €7, for €10, for €5, for €1. He can give it free of charge. He can pay the customers. I don't care as long as I get my €5. It kind of makes sense, right? I once worked with an event management software company that was looking for channel partners, and one of them approached us and asked for the pricing. And then the CEO came to me and told me, look, he can sell in whatever price that he wishes. We don't care. And he was very happy with his answer, like showing flexibility with the channels, okay, like channels oriented. And he was expecting me to be excited of this answer. But actually I was not. I was telling him, that's not a good thing here. You're conveying here two negative messages. One of them, first thing, that you don't have a price list. You actually don't have a price, which was true. Second thing, you don't have any idea what is the right price for the end customer. You didn't research your market. You don't know where this purchase fits in the customer needs. Okay, so because we discussed the issue of strategy and we saw the 4 P's and the pricing, now you realize that pricing is part of your strategy. You cannot omit it. You cannot outsource it to a third party. You need to have control as much as you can. Yes, it's not completely, not 100% over the pricing, okay? Also, you will be surprised, but sometimes the channels actually don't know what is the right price. So I work with a channel partner from Italy, maybe I think he's here with our audience, and he asked me, hey, I don't want to decide what the price is. You should tell me what is the right price for the end customers. I will negotiate the commissions and all this with you, don't worry, but you should tell me what is the right price. And this is what I've seen, okay? And I know that it's like arguable, but I saw that the successful companies control their pricing. They do have a control over the pricing. Now, of course, you have to factor into your strategy the commissions for the channel partner. If you have unique selling proposition that it's based on a lower price, you think that you're selling it, you will be selling a product much cheaper than your global competitors. Sometimes these companies realize that it's not really a unique selling proposition because they used to sell directly in their local market without the channel. When they go global, they have a channel. The channel needs his own cut, which is okay. It's perfect, okay. And then the advantages of the pricing has disappeared. So this means that it was not really a good strategy at all. It was not a strategy. So you have to factor it when you work with channel partners, the issue of the pricing. And therefore, what I'm trying to convey is that strategy is the first thing that you take a decision upon it. It doesn't mean that you're not going to give discounts and special deals and special terms and bonuses. All is okay and perfect. It's not a black and white word. We know that, but you need to have a control over your end customer price. Lika, do we have time for questions, or we're running out of time?
Yes, we are kind of running out of time. Maybe once we finish all the presentations and we still have the questions, we address them at the end.
Okay, so please go ahead.
Great. So now we have again the funniest part of the webinar. We have Semrush subscription. We will have three draws. First will be 1 month subscription, then will be 3 months subscription of Pro, and then we will have 6 months. So we will see now who is the lucky one here. Here we go. We see the winner, who is Itamar Banayan. Itamar, we will send you the email with your subscription plan. Congratulations. Now we are moving to 3 months subscription. Let's see. And a 3 month subscription winner is Kobe Yosef. Congratulations, Yosef. We will send you also the email. And now the next one. Yona Link. Yona, you won 6 months subscription, and I'm sure Ori can tell you, I'm sure they know what does it mean, but Ori, you can tell them how important is the Semrush subscription for them and how they can use.
Yes, Julian talked about digital marketing. I talked about the importance of marketing. These are pro editions of Semrush. It's really a robust tool, and it produces a lot of value for you, for your company. Enjoy it, use it, utilize it for whatever need that you have.
That's great. Thank you. And now we can move to the panel session, Ori. So you can introduce the panelists of our webinar, please.
Yes. Just I want to address one question that we had from before.
Okay.
We had a question about how to find channel partners. There are many answers, but please realize that Julian's platform, TechnoPlanet and Channel Next, is a place where partners spend their time there. They are there. So you need to get in touch with them and see how we can connect you with partners, okay? But this is just one way. There are plenty of other ways, LinkedIn and many others. We don't have the time to discuss it right now, but you have to see where partners spend their time. Now we have the panel. I see, whoa, the panel of channel partners. Okay. So we've got with us Mitch Martins that did an incredible effort to join us from MWare, South Africa. Thank you for being with us, Mitch. I know it wasn't easy. Oscar Diaz from TechBound Technology Canada. He had to wake up 4 in the morning because he's based in Calgary to address your channel partner questions. We have Abdul Aziz Al-Bakar from Business Management Technology. He's based in UK and running his business in Saudi Arabia, a fascinating place, and we really like to know how to do business over there. And of course, Julian Lee will support us for whatever question that comes up. So I want first to start and ask the panelists to introduce yourself. What is your business about, the type of products that you sell or wish to resell, and the vendors will be hearing you, so later on they might contact you on that. So please be brief and precise and tell us what you're doing. Mitch, let's start with you.
Thanks so much, Ori. And yeah, I just want to say welcome to everybody again. I'm here from sunny South Africa, and we've been load shedded. So that's why Ori said I had a problem logging in. I'm the CEO at Mware Automated Business Solutions. We design, develop, implement automated financial and operational processes. So we use in-house developed integration middleware products as our glue to push and pull data between business applications. And that is completely based on customer-defined business rules. We basically look at a complete end-to-end solution stack, and that includes a combination of hardware and software products that we use to optimize efficiencies within the company resources. So when we are looking at company resources, we are bringing people, stock, and assets together. And in those specific areas, we basically address ERP-related problems mostly from various sources. So whether that is mobile workforce, mobile learning functionalities, IoT, and a couple of other things that is all in the mix. And we also look at our partners to bring those specific products to the table. So we basically have round pegs and round holes, and square pegs and square holes.
Thank you, Mitch. Oscar?
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm CEO and founder of TechnoPlanet Technology. We're an MSP based in Calgary, and we provide services to police agencies and small to mid-sized businesses in Canada and South America. So primarily, we're focused in the last few years has been around cybersecurity and business continuity. The IT business in the last also probably 8 years, or 5 years, I would say, has become riskier. And we're always looking for options to secure our customers and to secure the operation, also to make it more efficient as well.
That's cool. Thank you. Abdulaziz, please.
Yeah, thank you. Abdulaziz Al-Bakr from Business Management Technology. We are a system integrator. We deal mainly with enterprise applications and with enterprise customers, whether from the public sector or from the private sector. We work with a lot of enterprise applications. We have partners from all over the world. So we have experience on as being a channel partner, and we have experience in one of our joint ventures that we hire channel partners. Right now, we're developing a go-to-market applications which are related in the legal or the law firm applications, and AI that is related also in that area. And also, if some of you are familiar with it, which is the ALSP, the alternative legal service provider. So 3 areas in the legal industry. Hopefully we will be, when we focused on legal, and we said we want to do more than one project and one venture over there. So that's in a nutshell what we're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question. How do you choose with which vendors to work and resell their products? Based on what do you evaluate them? How does this work? Mitch, please go ahead.
Well, that's a very interesting question, Ori. We believe there is no such thing as a bad product. Every product has been developed based on specific requirements, to actually achieve a specific outcomes and to match specific expectations. So we have a very clear idea of our customer needs, and that's based on obviously our exposure in the field over the last couple of years. I mean, we've been in this space for a very long time, when it comes to choosing a partner, we ask a lot of questions, and I think that's important. The communication channels need to be open. So we analyze and compare common products with each other. We create a sandbox area to test these products. We compare outcomes to expectations. And when we have a perfect fit, that's when we engage. So in situations where a perfect fit is not possible, we actually go and develop those missing pieces, and we actually use our glue then to connect and bridge the products. So even if there's not a good fit for a specific requirement, then we still feel that whatever engagement, that meeting was still definitely worth it, because there will always be another requirement somewhere down the line. So we really believe in building and nurturing those engagements and those relationships.
Thank you. Oscar?
Well, the thing is that the SaaS vendors are dealing with similar problems as IT companies, which is building trust. So we, as IT companies, we need to build trust with the prospects in order to actually be able to sell a product. So that goes as well for the SaaS vendors. So, and the easy way for them to actually connect with IT companies or their potential partners and build that trust is to hang out in the same places as those channels are, as you mentioned. So we are part of the peer group, and the majority of the channels the SaaS vendors we're working with were presented or introduced through the peer group. So that's one step that they need to overcome at some point. The second thing is that the SaaS vendor needs to look for a long-lasting relationship with the partner. So if there is value there and they're looking and they're willing to put the time to build the relationship with their partner, then that will go, that will help a lot to have a, to choose the vendor. So basically I will summarize that and those two. So it's a building trust to have a really good product, and they are willing to actually have a good, a long-lasting relationship with the partner.
Okay, great. Abdulaziz Al-Bakar, please.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, how do you choose with which partners to work? So how do you pick up who your partners are? Based on what do you evaluate them and decide, yes, I want to work with this vendor, with this SaaS, with this software vendor, with this ISV?
Yeah, well, first of all, you have to market. The same way you're going to be marketing your product, you're going to have to market the opportunity for channel partners to come up. And you have to see that they are interested in this type of solution that you are selling. Another part which is very important is don't get fooled by the size of the channel partner or the number of people or the clients they have. You have to see how much resources are they willing to commit. He might have 500 employees, but how many employees are going to be dedicated to your solution? Even if it's 2, it's good enough. 2 are good, but commit and see the communication, how it's going to be. If there's an easy communication with them and you're going to be able to know how they do their sales process, because part of the sales is cross-selling to their other clients. So this is very important. Last point is, are they focused on the sector that you are targeting or not? This is a major checklist that you have to take a look at.
Yes, and it's a strategic point. It's a very interesting point. Thank you. Julian, do you have anything to add here? You've talked with so many channel partners. You know them very well. What is your point of view about this?
How do you choose a channel partner? I think the key word is very carefully. And because you could spend a lot of time with people and it ends to a dead end. First thing is really just check their website, make sure what they're doing makes sense for you. Check their LinkedIn profile, make sure they're engaged, right? So you could see to which level, they're engaged. And think of every channel partner like the way, like they have a resume, right? We all have a resume. People who go for jobs that has a resume. And in that resume, people do lie in the resume. So you do want to go through the resume to make sure you look at all the points that make sense for you and kind of match them together. I think Mitch said that you can put a round thing in a round peg in a round hole in a square hole, and that's pretty much it. You got to look to see where that square and round is, and identify the key things. Best advice is to look to the end customers that the partner is actually targeting, and if that gels with what you are trying to solve as an outcome, it's a good indication that, dig in a little bit more because it could be a potential client.
Okay, that makes sense. Next question. You're working with several SaaS vendors as a partner, as a channel partner. What's the common trait of the most successful vendors that you've been working with? So can you say that they have a very good product, they were flexible with price, the relationship, they have a good marketing machine? What makes you to point to a certain vendor and say, hey, that's a great partner of mine? Okay, that's a great SaaS vendor that I wish everybody would have been like him. Please, Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Ori. Yes, I think this question actually it links very closely to the previous question. And you have to establish that partnership early on, and then you need to nurture it. There's a saying that says that you can't manage what you can't monitor, and you need to put the bells and whistles in place to do that. Cross-pollination is also shared marketing. Those are important things when you are looking at these type of nurturing and building the partnerships that we're talking about. Product is obviously important. We found that customers are a lot more informed these days, and I'm sure my fellow panelists will agree with me. So as a result, they often do not mind paying more for product. If you can deliver the value, then pricing is kind of almost a second tier problem to have. Definitely. So I think still it's all about the partnership and nurturing that partnership.
Okay, thank you. Oscar, please.
Yeah, so it will be, besides having a great product, is also that they have a really good customer service, in the sense that there is someone assigned to you that can work with you in problems, because problem will happen. And one example that I can bring to this conversation is that when something goes south with your customer, your end user, and your end user is asking you to make it up to them, that's where your SaaS vendor or partner should need to step up with you to provide a solution to a customer. Okay, so if that's a partner is not willing to do that, that's basically a red flag here for keeping a long-lasting relationship. Also, a good thing as well about a good partner, the great partners, they're flexible. They're flexible regarding pricing. So something that MSPs try to avoid at all costs are contracts. So contracts that are 3 years or longer is a big no in the industry. Especially, we try to avoid that as much as we can. I mean, if we need to have a contract we just do it for 1 year tops. And if we need to make changes to that contract, the partner has to be willing to help you out to make a change. Obviously, there has to be a trade-off there, because once you sign a contract, it's a contract, but there has to be some flexibility to make changes to it. So I will summarize that: have a direct point of contact with the partner, be flexible, and also to be willing to step up when things don't work out with their end user.
Mm-hmm. Okay, clear. Abdulaziz Al-Bakar, please.
Yeah, I agree with Oscar. These are very important points that you want to see with the vendor. You don't want to start selling a product for a company, and then when you have a big deal, a big customer, it takes you days to get somebody to agree on a discount, or if you need a team to be present on ground with you, and so on. So the communication channel is very important. The flexibility is very important. And also the transparency. The transparency is very important. You know who you're talking with and who's the people, not only just one person. You need to work with different departments, from the finance, from marketing and sales, and so on. So all of that is very important.
Great. Julian, anything that you would like to add here? What makes a vendor a good vendor? Well, actually, you outlined it in your presentation, but maybe if you want to add your separate angle to summarize this, or what you've seen are the traits of the good SaaS vendors. What are they doing well that makes them attract the good channel partners?
Well, those all good points that everybody made, but for me, there's just really two things that makes me look at a vendor and go, yeah, I think I want to rock with that vendor. And that is passion and empathy. You know, I hate vendors who just talk about their products like a drone. We make this product. It is really good. It is best in the world. You will love me. It will make you money. I couldn't care less. But if someone gets up and go, hey, how can we work together? What's going on down there? You know, that's a game changer. And I guess we come out with this word empathy, and we've seen a lot less of it in the world as of recent. And I think the world is trying to change this back to being empathetic. And if you're a vendor and you have no empathy for your partners, then why would I even want to give you any time of my day? There's something called the Great Resignation going on the world. You know, 4 million people left their jobs a couple months ago. And basically, it's no longer about like, I'm working for you for a paycheck. People want to feel that they're doing something of value. They want to feel, you know, that it's that you like dealing with them. They want to have purpose. This challenge is happening globally right now. So if you want to retain the right partners, get with the program. And the answer is, you know, be passionate about your stuff, and then other people will be passionate about your stuff. The gentleman talked about Abdullah about the, you know, looking for, you know, a couple of people within a company to kind of help you, you know, push your products. You know, I want the whole company to say, hey, we want to move in this direction, right? And my question to them is, how do I get everybody here excited to kind of move in that direction? So passion and empathy goes a long way, my friends. It's especially today, I think.
Yeah, I fully agree. I fully agree. I would like to take your point of view about pricing. I mentioned it in the myth, the last myth, about the who decide upon the end customer price. Mitch, what is your take about it? Do you want to be fully in control of it? Do you rely on your vendor? How does it work? Tell us your point of view, whatever you have in mind about it.
You know, the big thing is every one of those vendors have a very good idea of what is capable within that specific market sector and with the pricing that is currently on the go. You know, to start from nothing makes it more interesting, and then obviously we will engage and you know, test the waters. From a pricing perspective, I would not want to bombard our partners in that regard. You know, I would rather try and assist them to see, you know, if a specific price is working in a specific channel, in a specific tier. You know, whether I'm working with entry-level type customers or enterprise type customers, and there are different pricing structures for each. I think these days with SaaS models, it makes it a lot more easy to deal with you know, the bigger tiers of users that I'm engaging with, rather than, you know, the old school perpetual once-off with annual license fees. But yeah, we try not to dictate. We try and actually come to a common ground together with a partner.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. Oscar, what is your take about it? Pricing, who determines what the price is? How does it work?
Yeah,
Tell us your secrets.
Yeah, from MSP perspective, we rather to control the pricing, the end user's pricing, for a lot of factors, depending on the type of solution that we're selling. There are solutions that comes with more risks than others. So especially the cybersecurity tools, we rather to price those to the end users. There are other instances where we have partners that they sell through channels and sell directly to the end user. And we just basically keep that same MSRP to the end user, and you'll just basically take a cut from it. This is like, for example, in Google. So they have their price set. Everybody can go to the website and see the pricing. But if we resell Google, for example, we get a cut of that MSRP that Google has. Something that the partner must not do at all whatsoever, and that has happened in the here in the MSP world, is that where we sometimes there are partners out there that sells an end user, and the eagerness of selling something, they undercut the partner. So that's cheaper than the MSP they have published, and therefore they sell cheaper than whatever partner is offering to that moment. And that's will damage the relationship to a point that will never recover for sure.
Very interesting angle. Thank you. Abdulaziz Bakar, what is your point of view about pricing, how it is determined? Give us a look at, yes.
I think there should be a standard pricing. That's something important. When it comes to the discounts and the pricing of additional services, that might be important to sell, to incentivize the customer to buy in, sometimes the additional services and so on. So that, I think it should be between either you rely on the partner, or if the vendor has the capabilities to go to communicate and to discuss with the partner, I think that would be a good thing. First, he's gonna understand more about his partner and the customers and get more information. But at the end, it has to be justified. Any changes in the pricing, anything has to be justified, even if it's somebody from the sales team that wants or recommends a certain pricing. There has to be a justification for that.
Thank you for that. I have you one last question. So, the vendor signed with you an agreement, and you imagine a new vendor, you just signed with him. What creates your engagement with that vendor? Obviously, you work with many vendors, with many products. What will make you be engaged in the business? Is this the frequency of communication that you have with him, the marketing materials, co-marketing activities, trade shows that he goes with you? What would make you engage in the business of the vendor?
Ariane, should I take it?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely frequent communications. We try to eliminate as much as we can that out of sight, out of mind type of situations. You have to be very wary when it comes to that type of thing. So we include our product partners in most of our campaigns. Very good example is we are currently busy with a video campaign that basically address problems that we are solving for our customers. So rather than being product centric, it's all about the problem solving. So what we do in that regard is we pull in our partners, and we ask them to provide scripts, which we then send for copywriting before we obviously get our video content creators to actually do the videos and the voiceovers. And when those videos are then ready to be shared, then we actually get engaged with our partners to do, once again, to assist with those the co-marketing events. So when we do that, it also leaves a very good feeling with regards to the partner that they are not out there in the cold. We're actually doing these things together.
Thank you. Very important insights. Oscar, what is your take about that?
A little bit everything that you just mentioned, Ori. So I think a key component here is the account manager that is working with you, in a sense that bringing leads, going with you to meet with customers, and also taking something from Julian as well that puts passion into the relationship, in the sense like for example, that you get in touch with your partner and say, hey, if I have a new lead, let's work together on this, and then their partner would say, oh yeah, let's do it right away, let's work on this, let's find our ways, who's the incumbent, let's try to find why we're better than them. So that's basically where helps a lot in the relationship. And finally, I would say that person on the partner end, the account manager, reminds you about the marketing material, the promotion that are ongoing at the moment, giving you material about how any given product is better than the incumbents and where they're the main competitors, and knowing where your customers are, your target market is. Because, for example, we work with police agencies, and we're working with a partner. They might say, okay, I have this product that is for police agencies. So that he's thinking of me, he's helping me to not just to grow my business, but also he's in the same token, helping me grow their business, is helping them to grow their business as well.
Cool. That's cool. Very important. Abdulaziz Al-Bakar, what is your take about being engaged? How do we motivate you to be engaged? We want to sell our SaaS solution. Help us. Hey, you're on mute. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think what Oscar said was spot on. I would add to that that engaging more with the customer is very important, with the channel partner and between the channel partners. So get multiple channel partners, 2, 3 to work. Let them look at a certain sector, a certain market, and agree with them on strategies, tactics, how to approach this. Also, another thing is, I think we've seen that, and it worked very well. It had a very good impact, which is when you do a marketing material, a advertisement, and you cover more than 50% of the cost of that, and you put your product and you put that partner's name in it. It has a very big impact. They feel proud. They feel you the same way they're investing their money in your product. You are also investing in them and in that relationship.
Cool. Very good advices. Very good advice from all of you. Julian, your take about this finally, how do we make the channel partners engaged? I know you talked a lot about it, but I'll give you the final word here.
Exactly what you just did. Ask your partners. They will tell you, for me, it's not rocket science. If I want to know how to help my partners, ask them. Oscar and Mitch, you guys, that's exactly what it is. So don't listen to your marketing people or people in the ivory tower. They may know a thing or two about the world, but they don't know what it's like living on the front lines of being a partner. Look, MSPs, the average margin for an MSP right now is around 17% on managed services. This is too low. It should be higher. So if you're going to invest, okay, but be careful you don't go to partners that is just price, base their life on pricing, because they're going to bring everybody down, as we've seen with hardware. However, there's an exception that because of the supply chain, hardware prices are going up. But without that, hardware will be really, really going down. So the end result is listen to your partners and do exactly, even if it sounds crazy, do exactly what they tell you. What do you have to lose? Partners have just said, hey, let's have a beer and pizza night. Okay, what does that got to do with selling anything? But I'll tell you what, that beer and pizza night may go a lot to build your street credit with that partner. And next day they're going to go, hey, Julian bought me some beer and pizza, and I'm going to promote his stuff today. So, the next best thing to that is shower them with money. I don't know of any MSP that will not accept money. So you go to an MSP, make sure your wallet's filled, right? And do that. And believe me, you can hug them, you can do a lot of things, but if you do those basic things, I think they're gonna love you. And once they love you, they sell your stuff. That's it. Just do what they want. That's what I do.
Cool. Thank you. I will address one question here from the audience: how to find new partners. You go to channel next events where channel partners meet vendors. You do it on LinkedIn, you do it on exhibitions, you do it by just looking the websites. You talk to your other partners, you talk to your customers. Sometimes you can consult with your customers in a given country and ask them who are the best service providers, IT service providers. Oh, I know that it's not a full answer, but we are short in time. Finally, I want to give you, provide you some value over here. Thank you very much for all our panelists. It was really insightful, very, very important. So what now for you guys? Okay, we're all tired, we know. So you can book a free consultation. And maybe Lika, you can copy paste these links in the chat box so people can copy the links. You can book a free consultation with us. You can get an interview in our Fireside Chat series where we interview CEOs and founders of B2B software companies that already have a success in global markets, and they will share tips and their experience. You can join our future meetups, so you get notification of these kind of webinars. You can share your product. Send me an email with your product. Tell me to which of the panelists you want to address it, or to all of them. Just a brief, keep it short. And if they have any interest, we'll make the introduction, okay? And also, you can take the survey. Once we're done with the webinar, automatically it will launch the short survey of 5 or 6 questions. Answer them. We will do a draw of another Amazon gift card, send it by email, publishing the website of the winner for all of us to be happy. So I want to thank our panelists, Julian, Oscar, Mitch, Abdulaziz, all of you, all the audience. Thank you very much for being us, for sharing your question. We'll answer some of the questions also offline. We realize that we didn't answer all of them. We want to keep the time schedule. And thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good morning, evening, whatever.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Cheers.